Attention! Forward march! Left, 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 right, right, right on left, so smooth. This was the cadence that began every step I took at the West Point Summer Leadership Experience in the summer of 2019. It was a gorgeous June morning, and you could see summer beginning right in front of your eyes. The sun was bright, and the sky was a deep blue. And I did not know that as I sat comfortably in the AC of my family's minivan, that within 1 hour, I would be on the verge of tears because everyone around me would be yelling at me to run faster, hauling my luggage behind me. From the moment my dad dropped me off at West Point, I was constantly hounded by sergeants to either fix my posture or do more push-ups. Every day, I was woken up at 5 a.m. to a bass drum and heavy metal music blaring on the loudest speakers known to mankind. The summer leadership experience was exactly how a movie would portray a military camp, a grueling military boot camp. Imagine, for 3 years of your life, every single decision, every other conversation, every single thought is focused on one end goal, on one dream that you and your entire family are set upon. Since the sophomore year of my high school, I've had one goal, and that was to gain admission into West Point Military Academy and serve my country in the armed forces. That feeling of being a part of something bigger than myself and truly giving my life to such a significant cause deeply resonated with me. From the beginning of my journey, my father and I always talked about the parameters I would need to cross in order to gain and obtain admission into West Point. And one of these parameters included being assigned to and working with an admissions counselor directly from West Point. Major Bates, a woman who came to my house one Saturday at 12 p.m. and did not leave her chair until 6 p.m., until she had covered each and every detail there was to know about admissions to West Point and what life was like there as a cadet. She did not get up once to use the restroom, nor did she take anything my mother offered her. Her grit and determination are like no other, and I have never met a more focused and driven person in my life. I could see in her the true love and passion she had for her country, and how West Point had shaped her to become who she was. Thus began my high school journey, in which all my major decisions were geared towards one goal, being admitted to West Point. For the first 2 spring seasons of my high school career, I had worked extremely hard to make a place for myself on my high school's crew team. And as I realized that I would be better off training for the mile, which was a major component of the candidate fitness assessment, I decided to leave my school's crew team and join the track and field team instead in the spring of 2019. It was as if every single decision I made in high school was leading me to this one focused end goal. As I began my journey to apply to West Point, I had little to no upper body strength, but I was so determined to pass the candidate fitness assessment that every day after school, I would go to the gym and train to gain more muscle. At the beginning of my journey, I could not do even a single push-up. But as I continued to train, by the end, I was able to do multiple pull-ups. Sorry, I was not able to do even a single pull-up. And by the end of my journey, I was able to do multiple pull-ups in a row. And not only did I change my entire outlook on fitness, but I also received both the Connecticut Senator and the Connecticut 5th District Congressional House of Representatives nomination to pursue my dream. I sat through long and intense hours of interview prep to prepare to be interviewed by some of the most influential offices in the Connecticut state government. For years on end, I worked towards the climax of my goal. However, with each inch that I moved closer to West Point, a doubt began to make noise in my mind. There are times in life when fate has a different story written for your destiny. And this was one of those times. As the circumstances in my life began to unfold, it became apparent that I would not be attending West Point. There are times in life when you can fight the current of the river, but this was not one of those times. The day I realized that I would not attend West Point, I still went to the gym. I still trained my upper body, and I still ran on the treadmill. I will never forget the feeling of all the energy draining from my body, leaving me completely numb as I had realized my dream had been shattered, as I realized that all the hard work I had put in leading up to this moment had gone in vain. It truly was a story that great authors write about in their novels, when your throat dries up and your air tubes start to constrict and it's hard to breathe. It was as if the floor had split open and I was falling into a pit of anger and disappointment. I was angry at the world. I was angry at myself. I was at a loss for words. But the one feeling that I could not shake was fear. The fear that I now had to choose a civilian college and I had no idea what my future looked like. I was devastated as I had to walk away from the only certainty I had in my life and was instead surrounded by uncertainty. Rebirth is a must for evolving into higher beings. This is what I learned when my dream was shattered and I had to pick up the pieces. I was faced with the most difficult task of choosing where to spend the next 4 years of my life from a list of choices that I had not even considered less than 48 hours ago. And I made one of the toughest decisions of my life about choosing a university that I had not even considered up until a few weeks ago. It has taken me some time to realize that I needed to change my outlook and my perspective on life because my dream needed to be altered. It has taken me some time to realize that I could not keep living in this what-if dream of West Point. I believe that there is something to be said about a person who attempts a major life goal, faces adversity, and pivots to a new reality. Walking away from certainty and towards uncertainty is a very hard thing to do. My roots are in Hinduism, and the religion speaks to how one connects with their mind, soul, and intellect to be reborn even in their current lifetime, even if it's just to achieve a new mindset. And there are two key points that have really helped me in my life that I would like to share with you all today, and they stem from the Vedas. The Vedas are the holy scriptures and foundations of everything Hinduism is built upon. And the first point I'd like to highlight is the art of right contact, which states that people generally complain when they face hardships or difficulties, and we feel threatened and attacked. People often ask, how can I find happiness if my life is in shambles? And Hinduism offers a very simple and straightforward guide to help people. Our teachings say that peace does not exist in the external world. Rather, it is found within us, within a being, within a heart, by establishing a proper mode of conduct with the external world. The evils in life that arise time and time again are not the obstacles we as humans face. Rather, we as individuals and our individual minds need to adequately face these challenges every time we are confronted by them. We need to take these challenges and convert them into opportunities for growth. The second key point that has been truly impactful in my life comes from the joy of living. This section of the Vedas says that happiness is generally the end goal of all human endeavors, and that people are always trying to gain increased pleasure and more joy. Hinduism says that happiness is a state of mind, that it is the clear relationship between your state of mind and the joy or sorrow experienced. When your mind is agitated and turbulent, you experience sorrow. But when your mind is tranquil, you experience joy. Thus, that is true happiness, the tranquility of one's mind. As humans, we all have the unique ability to be the masters of our minds. We have the capability to quiet our minds into a tranquil and unagitated state in which true happiness can be sought and achieved. Rebirth is an opportunity to do better, to be better, to build better. Redefining yourself in the face of adversity and failure is about constantly taking small steps to make yourself better. With each life risk you take, you have an opportunity to march forward in the direction of an unknown path. And simply because we do not know where that path may lead does not mean that it cannot lead to happiness. These are the lessons that have stayed with me and shaped me into who I am today, a student at Bentley University. I still have bad days, and I still get very upset when life does not go the way I had hoped. However, as I continue my journey at Bentley, I know that true peace and happiness comes from within. When I think back to my journey and my preparation for West Point, the mentality I gained of discipline, dedication, and attention to detail are all skills I still continue to use with me today. My past will always be a part of me as I write my next chapter. And so when we think about what we want to do next, when I think about what my first semester was like at Bentley, I remember that I remembered that peace and happiness come from a calm and balanced mind. And this helped me process many important decisions, such as applying to be an orientation leader, which was one of the happiest times of my life at Bentley thus far, or rushing a professional business fraternity, which has brought me some of the most incredible people I know. As I found events and joined student activities that I enjoyed, I found people that I looked forward to, and I realized that although my old dream is not my current reality, I can still make the most of my surroundings. I often struggle with keeping my mind steady for long stretches of time. And as I traverse through college, I know that how I experience and perceive Bentley is what matters. I now live with the fact that West Point is a past life. And to ensure that I move forward and look forward, I need to recognize that happiness will still come to me in different forms. My mind just needs to be focused enough to see it. As I began my journey at Bentley, I did not know what to expect or any intricate details about the university. When I first got here, I kept thinking, God, I can't believe I ended up at Bentley, at a civilian school. And when I think about what I went through, I realized that as I traversed, it was hard to find a sense of self in a place where I felt as though it wasn't my destiny, in a place that it was a new reality for me, and I had to grapple with this new life. And I consoled myself that this is my new reality, and I needed to accept it. It takes a great deal for someone to be able to start a new life after their original dream was not successful. When I first started my freshman year, I was constantly comparing what life would have been like if I had attended a military school. And as I reflect on my high school aspirations, I realized that I never gave myself the chance to dream, to believe, to see what a life may look like for myself in which I get to be my true self. A life in which I get to make decisions for what makes me who I am. The life I'm living currently, I never could have imagined in high school or at West Point. Rebirth follows a period of turmoil, of cleanup, of reflection, retrospect, and rest. Rebirth may be the idea that some may use to describe my journey. However, I urge you all to look at your true selves and see if there's any part of yourself that you are hiding. And if there's a small voice in your head that you feel you can hear, I urge you to set it free from your mental cage, and maybe you will find your journey of rebirth as well. I urge you all to be your true and complete selves and to march forward in the direction of your dreams. Forward, march! Thank you.